Hello.
So, did you always want to be a pastor, and if not, what were your original plans?
My original plans when I got out of high school was to go to UNC to go to pharmacy school. I want to be a pharmacist. So I went there, took a Chem 11 class, realized that I was going to have to memorize and know this stuff for life. And I was like, man, there's no way. So then decided to go into criminal justice, political science. Was going to do that, then go into law enforcement, and then got out of college and through a series of different events, felt God calling me into the ministry. So it was through that I ended up going to grad school to go into to get the education I needed. So long story short, that's it. That wasn't the plan when I was 8 or anything like that.
So you said some series of events. Like, what inspired you to become a pastor?
I realized, well, one of the things was I got married, and it was during that time that I became heavily involved in the local church where I was at, and I could see that no better way to say it than I could see God doing things in my life and other people's lives, and through that, I could see God was using me, and around that time, my wife and I began to realize that we were expecting our first child. And so we were very excited about it. And then through the routine checkups that you have, realized that our child was not going to survive the pregnancy. And so through that whole process, I began to realize, what am I doing that's really making a difference? And I realized it was through my church that I felt like I was really being used to make a difference and not just what I was doing to make money. So I was like, okay, God, what is it that you want me to do? And that was that whole process. And so I had a conversation with my pastor, and he said, hey, have you ever thought about going into full-time Christian ministry? And I went home and talked to my wife, and my wife says, yeah, I kind of knew that. Didn't you? I'm like, wow. So it kind of worked out like that. So that was it.
So, and you also said that you went to grad school, but like, what specifics in education did you have to get to become a pastor?
I had all the undergraduate courses to have a bachelor's degree, but I had no training, no classwork at all to be a pastor. And there's certain theological classes and certain preaching classes and those kind of counseling classes, had none of that. So it's the type of thing that if I was pursuing this straight out of high school, I probably would have had a different major in college. I would have gone to Southern Wesleyan University or somewhere like that, but I didn't have that. So instead of going back and getting another bachelor's, I was then qualified to go to a graduate school. And so I could go get a master's degree with all of those different theological, counseling, all those different types of classes, and then have a master's degree. So that's how that worked out.
So were there ever any people that tried to discourage you from becoming a pastor?
Didn't have anybody that really, well, had a couple folks that when they found out that I was changing course and not kind of entering into the law enforcement or lawyer type idea, that were kind of thought that I was throwing my life away by being a pastor. There was a couple of folks like that. My mom was not really thrilled about it, and the reason for that is that she was she knew the amount of weight, burden that a pastor carries and how they have to deal with other people's problems and really don't have an outlet for that. And she knew of folks that kind of burned out. And so me being her little boy, she was kind of nervous about that kind of deal. So that was it.
So what are your goals for yourself moving forward and the Baptist Swamp as a church?
The main thing is I just love to see people get engaged in the lives of other folks. For basically the express purpose of helping to better those people outside of themselves. And so for us as a church is for us to be able to do that with folks in our community and beyond our community. And for me, personally, myself, is to see more and more people kind of engage in that. So, so is it about our church growing in number? Not necessarily, but if that, it kind of has to happen if people get engaged, kind of thing. So that's kind of the byproduct of it. So, well, it's kind of like a roundabout answer, but kind of gets to it there. So.
So, what advice would you give to people who want to pursue your career?
To pursue my career, I would say, and I don't know if people really get the understanding of this, but there has to be, it can't be a money motivated type thing. Yeah, you make money, everybody makes money in whatever career, but the idea is that sometimes you deal with some mess. I think that happens in most careers, but the most rewarding thing is being able to work with people, to be able to help them when they have problems, but also to see them move into a better situation in life. And that's the actual reward rather than the money. So most people go and they look at a career and go, well, this one's the one that makes the most money, or this one makes, you know, it has to do with more of a calling on your life than it is the actual money part. So you gotta look at that.
So, do you know of any specific personality traits that someone must possess to do your job, and how do you feel that you acquired those traits?
I would say that probably one of the, I don't know how to describe it. You can't be a person that tends to react quickly. Somebody does something and you turn around, like if somebody taps you on the shoulder and you turn around and slap them, you can't have that kind of a personality with what I do, or you won't last real long. You know, and I would probably think that wouldn't go too well in too many jobs unless you're like a boxer or something. But you know, if you were a teacher, you couldn't have that quality, you know, that kind of thing. So I think part of it is that's my nature a little bit anyway. Part of it is by watching and being mentored by other folks, and so I would take that would be a quality that you would want to go seek out, whatever career you're looking to go into. Get under someone that does it well, and when you do that, you'll be able to pick up and see, well, that's why they do it that way. Maybe even if they can kind of describe and tell you that, well, you know, and you go in and ask the question, why did you handle it that way? Because I know it won't come back to bite me if I handle it this way, is what they'll probably tell you. And it doesn't matter what career it is, but specifically in being a pastor, that makes a difference.
So would you change the path that you took to get here, or would you just change where you are completely, or would you just keep it the same?
Often I would have thought that if I had it to do over, I would have loved to have done my undergraduate work at a Christian college. You know, there's lots of stuff that I saw and encountered and all that kind of stuff in where I went to school at that I wouldn't want my kids to see and go through and experience and all that kind of stuff. So I understand that, but I don't think I would really right now would want to go back and change. My wife went to UNC, so we both decided to go there when we had met, and we met before we went to college. But that might have changed things, you know what I'm saying? So there's certain things. So I'm thrilled with where I'm at right now. Yeah, there's things in my past that I made mistakes or would have maybe changed and done differently. But I'm thrilled at where I'm at, and so if that's what took me to get here and to where I'm at and where we're headed, then so be it. That's great. So.
And if you could give one piece of advice to young people who are about to step out on their own, what would it be?
The piece of advice that I would give, and I've kind of already said it a little bit, would be go find someone that is where you would like to be, and or the kind of person that you would like to be. Go find out, ask them, and it might be that you need to go borrow some money to take them out for a meal or something. But go have a meal with them, take a list of questions like you brought here today and say, basically, what were the qualities and what were the things that you needed to do to get where you are today? What kind of advice would you have for me today? And whatever your station in life is, if you're in college, if you're in high school, what would be the steps that you would take? That's what I would do. Basically, you're asking them to mentor you. To me, when you get real advice from a real person, that makes a huge difference. And they're going to be able to share with you maybe some character things or some moral type qualities that you're probably not going to get in a catalog for a college on, you know, descriptions for the majors and stuff like that. But they're going to be able to get you those kind of things that I believe are going to make the difference. So that would be my piece of advice. Find somebody that's where you would like to be, whether it's character-wise, whether it's professional-wise, whether it's life, and just ask them about it. So that's it.
All right, well, that's all that I have. Thank you very much.
Very good. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.